Hello and welcome back to Hold the Line Sports, where we do the work so you don't have to. Nate is back with us today. I know you all missed his presence, but fear not, he has returned to us. It's kind of, we haven't talked about it, but some of you may be wondering where our fourth member has been. Brandon's work schedule allows him to be done with his day at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the best of days, which is not really conducive to when we start our streams. So it's tough to align the work schedules in our respective areas. In our defense, I feel like we're doing a pretty good job of managing it, how we are, assuming we all work different hours of the day and I'm in a completely different time zone. So, we make it work. Hopefully, I think by the summer, hopefully we get him back. But if not, then we definitely get him back for the football season, because there's no way he will be able to say no to that. Plus, there won't be as much ball going on anyways. So in case you were wondering where he's been at, it's just work. We're still great friends. He doesn't hate us. In case you were wondering. All right. So more Major League Baseball today, gentlemen. We are over a week into the season, and the world is our oyster. So I have laid out a bit of an outline for us to follow. Feel free, if you think of anything as we go, to kind of go where the wind takes you. Same goes for the chat. If there's anyone in the chat and you've got a topic you want covered, we are all ears. We love when the chat engages. We expect these episodes to be a little less focused, but sometimes that's for the betterment of the program, because it allows us to just talk and have conversations. So I say let's go ahead and get started with the top story, in my opinion, over the past few days for the baseball world. That is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Finally signing his extension with the Toronto Blue Jays. Long, drawn out, painful process, I would imagine, for both parties. I was actually one of the ones that thought this wouldn't get done. In general, I thought he was going to be gone before the end of the year. So pleasant surprise for me, and probably to Blue Jays fans too, if there's any around. 14 years, 500 million. Yeah. Will, I will start with you and ask your thoughts. How do you feel about the signing and what it means for both parties?
I mean, you keep your guy, obviously. When the first numbers were coming out of he wants 600 plus, I was like, he's not worth that, not even close. But 14 for 5, I can get behind. It's still, I think, a little pricey. But I can get behind that, because the one thing that a lot of people that were in the Blue Jays, fandom, that were getting mad at was that they will dish out 700 mil for a Soto or an Otani, but then they weren't going to be willing to give 500 mil to Vlad,
They're
who was a homegrown
Yeah.
talent.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of people were up in arms about that. I have a friend who is a Blue Jays fan who was saying, if Vlad is gone, he is not a Blue Jays fan anymore. So sad to see him not join the Braves team, as he was probably going to, but we'll see how that plays out now. I mean, it's a good deal on both ends, I think, because 500 mil is a lot of money, life changing basically. So Vlad gets his deal that he wanted, security, 14 years, gets to stay there. Well, I believe a full no trade clause, so he won't get traded unless he approves of it, obviously. But and then the Blue Jays got him for, if he does what he did last year or in 21 consistently, they got him for a steal. That's a good deal. But there's always those inconsistent years, like the 2 years after his MVP caliber season in 21, he was just an above average first baseman, which is not 500 mil worth.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I like it on both ends.
Nate, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't care who you are. 36 mil is, or 36 mil a year is insane. That's a lot. But unless you're Otani, I guess. But I think the one thing that
he's worth as much as you need to pay.
What's Vlad's exact age again, real quick?
25,
26,
26.
Might be 26. He's one of those two.
Okay, and I figured he was mid 20s, maybe a little older than 25. But the one thing that struck me was the 14 years. I didn't read really deep into the contract. Like Will, you said there was no trade clause or out unless he wanted out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like, I think they could have slash should have done something maybe not as extensive. I just think 14 years, man. That's until he's 40. And like, is he?
I just don't think they were getting him unless they gave him that long.
And that's the thing too.
Yep.
Is like, I don't know what the talks were. I mean, but is he going to be worth 36 mil a year at age 36 or 37? I mean, he might not even be their everyday first baseman by then.
He probably won't be. Like I don't, because he's not. The thing about Vlad, he's not a plus defender as it is. Like, not to.
He won a Gold Glove.
He won a yes, but the way that come on, like Vlad, the way he's built now, that career trajectory at age 34, 35, 36, is he going to be an elite first baseman?
No shot.
Not like Paul Goldschmidt, the way that he plays, Votto, the way that he plays, Freddie is going to hold up defensively. I get, like, you can watch their intangibles and watch how they go about it. Vladdy's a hitter. He's going to hit. By the time he gets to 33, 34, he won't even be a first baseman anymore. He's going to be the full-time DH.
I mean, I'm glad dude's getting his money, but the 14 years did kind of stick out to me more than anything. Like, that's a risk. That's a big risk they're taking for that much money.
I just think they weren't going to get him if they didn't give him that.
I mean,
and
they had to make a concession.
In my eyes, I think they're like, I think he'll be good. Like say he's good for the next 10 years, which is entirely possible.
No, for sure.
I think they're just kind of, what in their head, they're like, okay, we're going to pay him in like 50 mil over 10 years. The extra 4 years are just kind of free. We get what we get out of him.
Yeah.
Something like that. Because, I mean, you need a star of that caliber on your team. And if you didn't give him 13, 14 years, you weren't going to get him. He was going to walk.
Yeah.
So,
but what this did confirm, though, Bo Bichette is not getting paid.
I was going to get into that. Yeah, I was going to get into that too. So, and I'll kind of give some of my other thoughts. I think this is massive for the Blue Jays, especially short term. You've got to think of like the last 2, 3, 4 years, how many of these like races they've been in trying to get like these high end caliber players, and they never get them. Like, they never get the guy that they want. So this is like the first time where I can like think, okay, like they dropped a bag on a guy that they wanted to get. They've wanted to do this 2 or 3 times before, which is why the Vladdy signing has like never happened until now, right? But everyone that they try to sign always ends up going somewhere else. So securing this guy helps in stabilizing that part of the lineup and that part of the infield, but it also helps in making that place more of a draw for other talent to come in. Now, I don't know, in case you guys didn't know, they are like top 5 in payroll. Like, the Blue Jays are actually like a top 5 payroll team. Like, they will drop money. So it's not like we can't afford the talent. They just haven't been able to secure it because, like, if I had to guess, I would say it's like Toronto's not like that great of a draw. Like, if you're going up against LA, if it's Toronto or LA and they're both trying to sign you, like, I'm probably going to go to LA because I don't want to live in Toronto. Like, so from that standpoint, it's good that they got the guy because they are willing to pay whoever they want. And now that there's like a stable talent on that team for the foreseeable future, I think it will help attract more players, knowing that they're going to be joining I don't want to say a winning organization, but a competitive organization, or an organization that wants to compete for the foreseeable future. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they've shown that they want to. They're gonna. They've shown every offseason that they're gonna be in the mix for the big guy.
They're in them. They want the name.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that I will worry about down the stretch is cap. But I mean, like, they make good money because, I mean, it's basically a whole country behind them.
Yep.
So they're gonna, and then their owners are willing to spend. Love that for them. So we'll they don't spend like $280 million on a parking deck after not paying players all offseason.
Bo Bichette starting shortstop.
Well, the last thing with this, I did want to talk about Bo a little bit. Obviously, he's not staying now. You can't pay for both of them. I just think that would be. Now, Bo said he wants to be in Toronto for the rest of his career. Bo said that, and whenever players say that, it almost always never works out, and they end up going somewhere else because money talks. I think maybe they try to get something done. I just don't. I don't see it happening. I think it depends on whether they're competing by the deadline, whether they try to trade him before the deadline, or whether they just lose him in free agency. I think if they know that they're going to lose him, they want to get something back. But if they're still competing, like if the window is technically open, they probably want to keep him through the season and see if they can make a run. Now, so far they're competing. They're above 500 team and playing pretty solid ball, but I don't know if they're a playoff team with the division that they're in. So that's kind of the question that remains for me is this a deadline deal or is it free agency?
Speaking from a Braves fan perspective here, like if you're looking at it, a lot of the teams that have the market to afford a player like Bo Bichette, and we can afford it whether people believe it or not, there's not many teams out there that even would need him. You know what I'm saying? Like there's not that many big market, big money teams that even really need him.
We are team.
As much as
we
us.
are team.
Yes.
Yeah, we are team. We need him. We need a high end shortstop.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
We do. Very bad. But we're not going to pay it because Liberty Media does not care.
Tickets are not for $3.
It is what it is. Yeah. I mean, what's crazy though is like he could go to LA.
Why?
Why not?
Mookie's their shortstop.
Yeah. Okay,
Mookie can move back to the outfield.
I get the whole why not, but like
Mookie is their shortstop. He can go back to the outfield.
It's a position of need for the Dodgers. They need a middle guy. They need one. Like I mean, Mookie's a ball player. Like he's gonna do whatever is asked of him, and he's going to do a fine job. But like, he's a better outfielder. He's a Gold Glove outfielder. He's not a Gold Glove shortstop.
He's technically a below average fielder at shortstop, which is still insane because moving from
he's an
outfield to shortstop,
he's an outfielder
in an off season and being just below average is crazy.
Yeah.
So I still think LA could go get somebody a little cheaper, unless they just want to blow the money and go get Bo Bichette.
When do they do anything cheap?
You know, I don't know. I don't know, but
yeah, they have the luxury of not having to be.
I mean, also a lot of I don't know if like he's so like hell bent on playing shortstop as well. I know he probably wants to, but it's not like he's a plus defender there. So. Like team can move him to second, move him to third, something like that, but also offer him a bag to do it.
Why can't we just straight up give him Arcia for him?
Yeah,
because Arcia is not worth the bag of potato chips in my pantry.
Really close.
We'll give him we'll give him Smith Shawver too.
God,
I'm just saying.
Who says no?
Exactly. Who says no?
The Blue Jays.
Anything else on this? We can kind of segue into we'll stay in the AL East. I would like to talk about the Yankees a little bit for all the like how fired up everyone was about how well the Yankees were hitting against the Brewers in like that first series, and then the Torpedo Bats taking over the world. These dudes are 6-5, tied for first place, obviously, because the whole AL East, aside from one team, is 6-5 right now. And they got blanked today by the Tigers. They've got 3 guys hitting over 300, and the rest are hitting somewhere between 120 and 210. Are either of you alarmed at how this season has started for the Yankees? Do you see it as a blip on the radar? Is this a sign of things to come? I have my thoughts, but I'm curious on like if you guys are concerned about the Yankees or if this is just like too early to tell kind of thing.
I have a stat real quick for the Yankees this season. It's actually very, very shocking. So
I love when you have stats.
No, listen. As a team, they've totaled for 99 hits this season. Okay? A quarter of I'm just going to round it up to 100 and make math very easy. A quarter of their hits have been home runs. So 25 home runs of their 99 hits.
That checks out.
With 97 strikeouts as a team already.
Checks out. It's like Volpe's got 4, I think. Jazz has 4, and he's hitting like 1 something. So like the hits are home runs. If they're not home runs, they're not. They're not. I mean, hits.
They only have 1, 2. They got 3 out of their 9 starters hitting above 300 right now.
Yep, that's what I saw.
Yeah,
Rice, Judge, obviously, and Goldie. Grisham, if you count him, he's their 4th outfielder, but he does get some spot starts. So I mean, you can count Grisham too, but like he's supplying no power. He is a defense first guy.
I think it's what we were worried about from the beginning. Like they're going to be such a hit or miss team. You saw obviously the torpedo bat game. I'll call it. You know, they were all on fire. Like everybody was doing their thing. And it's like ever since then, you know, it's just been straight misses essentially.
And like in terms of like runs per game, they're still like a top 10 team. They're technically first in runs per game, but it's super
Yeah,
inflated
yeah,
by the first 3 games of the season, one of which they scored like 19 runs in. So it's like super inflated, and it's obviously a smaller sample size, and they're still in the top 10, like I said. I am concerned with the staff and how it relates to what the hitters would have to do in order for them to win games. You've got Will Warren, Stroman, and Carrasco as like your 3, 4, 5 guys. Carrasco got dumped on yesterday, or maybe it was today. It might have been today. I don't remember who threw today, but Rodon doesn't look good. I think Rodon's velo is down. Rodon looks good for 2 1/3 innings, and
yeah.
then his velo drops, and you can tell he's not like prime Rodon, which leaves Max Fried, who has looked good in my opinion. I think Fried looks good.
Yeah.
Outside of that, that rotation, you've got to lead the baseball in runs scored if you want to win 90 games. So I think that's
Yeah.
where my concern lies. If they're not doing that, I don't see how they match up in the AL East.
I mean, Freed's the only pitcher with under a 5 ERA, and then Warren's right at a 6, and everybody else is above that.
Yeah.
So
No,
it's
Carrasco's still garbage. He hasn't been good in years, and nothing has changed. He's still garbage. I just watched him. He's still not good. Stroman hasn't been good in a couple years, in my opinion. He's still not good. I don't know. Will, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, them getting Clark Schmidt will be back soon. He's a solid arm. He's not terrible. He'll keep you in games. So that'll help. And then I also think that the one thing that doesn't worry me a ton is I think they're due for some positive regression. I think Cody Bellinger will get it going. It's Cody Bellinger. I think Jazz is hit for a lot of pop. It's just he isn't hitting for average. I think Jazz average will come up a little bit.
It looks like Jazz is trying to do one thing
and hit a home run. Yeah.
Yeah.
But one also thing too that the main thing that worries me is that they've been on the road recently and they haven't been scoring as many runs.
Exactly.
Yankee Stadium.
Exactly.
A lot of home runs at that short porch, especially for Anthony Volpe.
Exactly.
Which is crazy. I think the Torpedo Bats kind of play into that because the one thing with the Torpedo Bats, it may not like change exit velos a ton, but it allows more solid contact, and you don't need a exit velo to get it out to right field. And you just need solid contact, and I think that's what it is. Because I mean, you're still like a lot of times you're still getting jammed. It's just there's more wood there, so it's solid. It's more solid contact. So. I mean, it could turn into something to where, you know, even analytics come into more play where which I mean, it's probably not what you want to do, where they swing torpedo bats in Yankee Stadium and don't in away games, something like that. But it's probably just something you don't want to mess with, because swinging 3 different bats in a week time is probably not a recipe. So,
hitting's already hard enough. You want to stay consistent with stuff like that. If if it's applicable.
I know some players have done it where they've like Muncy, for instance, he swung the torpedo bat in the first 2 ABs of a game against the Braves and swung a normal in the last 2 ABs. He only got a hit with the normal one, but like it's just something to think about. I think they'll be fine. I think they'll still like compete, obviously, and I think this year might be a case where they're like slightly above or slightly under 500 on the road, but then they're very good at home,
which would make sense.
Like 20 games above at home, which would be insanity. But it's definitely doable. And then there may be
you can tell they're comfortable playing at home. Like they're super, like it's just a different style of ball that they play at home. Like they're super comfortable in that environment.
Yeah. And then I do think like some of their guys will get it going. Like I think Bellinger gets it going. It's Cody Bellinger. He's a former MVP.
I've
but
seen
I
him
also do
hit
think
201 before.
yes, but that was a while ago. He went through some swing changes. He's doing a lot better as the Braves have now got their second win. Let's go.
They did. They pulled it out. Oh
They
my
just
god!
They pulled it out.
What was the
Finally,
score?
Dude,
7-5.
the bats look good tonight.
Braves money line, baby. Let's go. I don't know why I took it, but I did.
I did not.
I mean, it's absolutely crazy that we were at 1-8, 1-7, and we were favored.
Yeah, the books are like, I mean, they know, right? Like
They knew something. We
they
won.
know. They know. The books know.
Yeah,
They
I
make your
don't know.
plays based off that.
But yeah, the Yankees. I'm not too worried just yet because I mean, we've seen a lot of good hitting teams struggle. The Braves are struggling. We're good. We're a good hitting team. We're gonna get it going offensively.
And
Pitching, I don't know.
I again, and it's like a similar like concern though. Is like I think the Yankees hit like to an extent. Like I think they hit okay, but do they hit enough to overcome what they're doing on the mound? That's like my main.
That's what I'm
That's my
worried
main
about.
concern.
Which I think Schmidt will help for sure. That gets some.
It'll stabilize it some because you can get Carrasco out of there at that point. If you can get Carrasco out of it, then you already have a better shot of winning.
That's a solid 3 starters because I think you obviously got Fried, and then Rodon and Schmidt are good starters. They just should not be your 2 and 3. If they're your 4 and 5, you're okay.
100%. Which that was the plan. So that's the issue.
Yeah,
that was the plan.
Real quick, I assume y'all see who the Braves added a couple hours ago, right? Because I just saw it.
Palmeiro, Rafael Palmeiro, Montero.
Yeah,
same thing.
I don't know how. I just saw that.
He used to be on the Astros.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
Yeah.
The one thing I want to see how much cash the Astros sent over. He's due $11.5 million this year, and so I wonder
their 7th inning guy. Like,
yeah, it's crazy.
That's crazy.
I want to see how much cash the Astros sent over because if we just took out some of our cap space that we got with Jurickson getting suspended and made it to a reliever who hasn't been that good in the past 2 years.
It's another Hector Neris. It's another Hector Neris. They're the same guy.
Yeah, it's a plant.
They're the same guy.
Which, I mean, I do think Montero's got better stuff, in my opinion, because I believe he's a flamethrower.
Yes.
And has like a crazy slider.
He's got some velo. Yeah, he's got some velo.
So I think that's better. But
I don't know.
As long as he's good,
depending
on
how much cash, the Astros sent over. And I think we just sent over like some random prospect, so he'll probably turn out to be like Mike Trout.
Yeah. Well, we can't have Dylan Lee throw 600 innings this year. So
he's our only guy that I trust.
That's what I'm saying.
He is the only one. I'm like, he's gonna get the job.
That's what I'm saying. So might as well just see who else can do it, I guess.
I think Rysel will get it going eventually. I don't trust him right now.
He looked awful.
He
looked very bad. But there's he goes through stretches like last year he did. I think he went like, what was it like? He like did like something like crazy amount of saves in a row, something like that.
Yeah.
Or like scoreless innings, something like that. So I think he'll get it going eventually.
He gives up a lot of hard contact. That's a little scary sometimes.
Dude, I don't like his stuff.
He's a pitch to contact guy.
I hate that. I hate that.
But it's not soft contact.
Not as a closer. The closer needs to be wipeout.
Yeah.
Wipeout closer.
It's not like he's getting rollovers. Dude's giving up missiles.
No, he's giving up barrels.
Yes, but a lot of the barrels are on the ground. That's fine.
Kelenic literally just had to lay out
4 of those, and then we still lose.
Did you not see the inning he just had?
No, I wasn't watching.
No. Well, there was one hit.
Focused on the task at hand, Nate.
Sorry, there was one hit like 112. Well, sorry, it's in front of my face. When you say a guy hit 112 off the bat, it was, and Kelenic had to lay out for it. And then I think somebody else, another guy, hard contact, and then luckily, boom, just skyrocketed one to Riley. But yeah, dude, his stuff is okay at the best.
It's not good.
Bohm hit a lot of pop-ups there. That was funny. He missed one crazy pitch that was right down the middle and just popped it straight up. It was freaking
hilarious. His front side's leaving. He's pressing a little bit.
He said a bad word when he did that.
Well, I think he's like trying to he's seeing like a lot of stuff like middle, and he's like trying to hammer it. instead of just like putting a good
It's
swing
not his
on.
game.
Yeah. When he's going like right center gap, left center gap, like he's like shooting like this, like he's money. But he gets like super pull happy. He's still kind of a young guy too, so like he's gonna do dumb stuff like that. All right, let's go to the opposite side of the country, to a division that is going almost exactly how we all pictured it going. The difference is one of those teams is the San Francisco Giants, who are 8-2, along with the Padres and the Dodgers in the NL West. The Giants they're the top 10 in offense and top 3 in team ERA. I know you don't like ERA, but that stat still stuck out to me. If it's top 3, that's still a lot of pitchers doing a solid job, back to back to back.
Logan Webb.
Team ERA, I don't mind. But
Which is why
like
I went with that.
personal,
I didn't. Yeah,
personal ERA, I'm a little like, okay, all right. But team ERA is fine.
if it's an average of every guy on that team that has to throw, then it's like, okay, there's only so many little things that can, make it not a realistic stat. So team ERA top 3.
Is Logan Webb
very
still
good
bad?
recipe for success.
Is Logan Webb still a bad pitcher?
We'll get to that.
Okay.
We'll get to that.
One thing I will say is Camilo Doval is back. He was ass last year. He's back this year.
Yeah, he's back for sure. He's disgusting.
Yeah.
That's a closer. That's what a closer should look like. Wipe
He's not even
out
a closer.
stuff. He's not. I actually think his stuff is better. I think his stuff is better. I think he has closer stuff.
Like, I think out of stuff in the MLB, there is a clear top 2 to me. And
Okay.
they're both closers. Camilo Doval
Yep.
and Emmanuel Clase.
I throw Martinez for the Diamondbacks in there.
Yeah, he's in there. I just
His
think the other
stuff
guy
is-
got a little bit more control. So like I pair control into stuff a little bit because like
Sure.
you have to be able to throw your stuff for strikes. And that's
Command,
why
yeah.
Doval and Class A are better in stuff in my opinion. But
Well, and that was the issue with Doval, was not the stuff itself was still doing what it needed to do, but he wasn't commanding it for that
Mhm.
little stint. And that's when he lost his. He ended up being like the 7th inning guy, like halfway through that season. I'm like, dude, this is. But no, he's back for sure.
yeah.
So I guess the main question that I have in regards to the Giants overall, are they for real? Let me start with this. Their new City Connect uniforms are the most hideous thing that I've ever seen in my life. They are ghastly. Have you seen these?
Yes.
Someone pull them up. So, these are, Nate, if you haven't seen them, they are repulsive.
Let me
It's
see.
the worst I've ever seen.
A very, very fall from grace of what their old ones were. I know a lot of people had mixed opinions on their old ones. I liked them.
I no
But,
longer have mixed opinions. These new ones are atrocious. Nate, you're gonna like them. You like
What
the
color
weird
is the
stuff.
pants? What color is the
White.
pants? Are they okay? Right.
So
They're white,
let me
yeah.
just say this. I don't mind the script, I don't mind all that stuff.
I think that's the worst part.
Listen.
And the color scheme is
listen.
stupid.
But what does it mean? Is it like spray, like graffiti? Like, is
I
that what
don't
it
care.
is?
It's stupid, is what it is.
I think their
It
other
means
one. I
stupid.
thought their other one was better, but like
I hate this team.
I don't mind them. They're not the worst in the league, I don't think.
I think they're the worst in the league.
Trying to go through all of them right
See,
now.
weirdly, I like that better than Toronto's. I don't like Toronto's.
I don't hate Toronto's.
With the red, you mean?
I thought Toronto's.
No,
With the
they're-
leaf?
They're like
No.
a dark blue.
Yeah, with the like.
Oh, those are fine. Those are fine.
You see, I'm not.
Those are not my favorite.
My
not
new
my
favorite
either,
is
but-
the new Astros that they're going to start wearing.
Have you seen those, Will? Those are cold.
Those are good. The new best ones are the ones that may not be true, but they've been leaked. The new Diamondbacks
They've been
ones. Those are
leaked?
going to be sick.
I don't think I've
If
seen
you haven't
those
seen those are going to be amazing.
yet. Okay.
Obviously, they didn't say the pants. If the pants are some stupid ass color, it's going to ruin it all.
The Diamondbacks will do that. They'll do like some weird pants.
Which one is
remember
it?
they had like the charcoal pants?
It's a black jersey, so I mean, hopefully it's like either white
Keep it
pants
simple.
or so you would think, but yeah, either black or gray pants, and you're fine. Or not black or gray, white or gray.
White or gray.
I hate black baseball
All
pants,
right, let me look at these things, Will.
but
Is that the D-backs ones?
yeah,
I gotta find them.
Okay. While you're doing that, I want your review on those as we go throughout this. But back to the question, I got stuck on. I saw them today and again, and I was like, these are garbage, just absolute
bad.
garbage. Automatic lost aura. They lost aura with me. They didn't have a lot of aura. I don't like these guys that much, but I'm a hater. So you guys got to talk me off the ledge. Is this start? They're 8-2. How real is this start for the Giants?
I mean, I want to say it's not, but then what was it, 2021, when we all thought they were not going to be that great, and then they went out and won 109 games or something like that.
It's exactly what I was thinking of.
So I'm going to say it's real. I don't know if they're going to be, like 105, 109 games like they were that year. But I mean, it's just something with the Giants. I think they'll be at least in the mix all year, 100%. I do think that this division is very tough. So, you obviously got Dodgers and Padres. The Diamondbacks have looked pretty good, honestly, in my opinion as well. Like their hitting has, but they got to work on their pitching a little bit.
A lot.
Yeah. But we'll see with that one. I think they'll be in it until the end. I don't know if they'll make the playoffs or win 90 games, win 100 games, but I think the team is for real.
Go
ahead.
They're not hitting that well. Like, they're, as a team, hitting 228. They're not hitting well at all. They are scoring some runs, obviously. They got, what is it?
You're going to feed right into what I was going to say, so keep going.
Yeah. So they've only scored 49 runs on the year. I don't want to do math and get the average on that, but point blank, not a very good offense right now, if you look at it as a whole. But their pitching right now is like a 2.17 ERA. So I think it's going to really heavily rely on how their pitching keeps throughout the rest of the season. Unless the bats get hot or whatever, but I think it's the pitching that got them to this 8-2 right now, not necessarily at the plate.
Okay, so great job, because that kind of fed into like where my mindset is going. They are relying, the Giants, okay? The Giants are relying on the long ball. They are relying on the home run to score runs, which is not sustainable for the Giants. Do we know the answer to why that is not sustainable?
Awful stadium.
Ballpark.
They play in the worst ballpark to hit home runs in almost in the entire league. Okay, so they've hit 12 home runs. 10 of their 12 have been hit on the road. So they're 5-1 on the road. All of their power has been on the road. Now, granted, they're 3-1 at home because of the pitching that they've had. The pitching has been, I want to say it's fake, but the pitching looks good. Jordan Hicks, I think, is an ace. I don't know how you guys feel about Jordan Hicks. I think he's an ace. I think he is so good at pitching.
So I picked him up in fantasy.
That's a great pickup. That's my issue. Wilmer Flores has 4 home runs already. They're all on the road. And so like this type of like production isn't necessary. There's got to be like a regression back to the mean, because that type of production is not sustainable, because they can't do it 162 games. They can only do it in half of them, best case scenario. And they're already like top 10 in terms of power production, which is also not a sustainable thing for them with the lineup that they have. It is going to come down to their pitching, which I think also has to regress somewhat to the mean, because what'd you say, their team ERA was like 2.7 something?
Yeah.
Which is, we all know that's insane. That's not going to last the entire year. It'll probably still be good, because I think they've got some good arms. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I think the team ERA is going to be good, but the amount that they're hitting right now, I don't think is real.
Mm-mm.
And I think the elite level of pitching is not real. I think they're above average pitching and an average hitting team. So I don't think it's sustainable.
The one thing I will say with their pitching that I think will be able to sustain is that, so yeah, they're pitching really well, but they're not Kang a bunch of guys, because that's not who they are. They're playing into their stadium. They're like, okay, we're going to force weak contact.
True.
Because not like if you are a pitch to contact guy in Yankee Stadium, you force a lot of weak fly balls, some of them might get out. But in San Francisco, those balls aren't getting out. So you pitch to contact, and you let your defense work behind you. That is one thing that they will always have. The Giants, for some reason, have an elite defense every time. I think they're going to kind of be like, the Rays, and the Guardians. They're going to win games by pitching and stealing runs off from the other team with good defense. And the long ball, yes, will not be sustainable. They're going to have to do something better than that. But I think the one thing that's keeping me from not being like, okay, yeah, they're not going to win 105 games is the offense, but their pitching is good enough to keep them in the postseason race the entire year, in my opinion.
I think I'm probably inclined to agree with you. I had them finishing right around 500. So I think it's probably going to be the difference of 7 to 9 games, which could be, probably don't get in the playoffs, but they're competitive throughout the end of through the end of the season. I don't think they finish below 500. I think the pitching has shown me enough to where it's going to be reliable for them. I worry about the hitting, and just because it's really approach based. And you kind of said it in the opposite standpoint, where the pitchers kind of know their role and how to pitch in that stadium. The hitters right now are hitting for power. Okay, well, if they don't change approach dependent on the park that they play in, they're going to be having those swings that are going to be outs when they're playing at home.
Yeah.
So they have to make sure that they're adjusting the approach to play for the park that they're going to be in. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Kind of how that's the concern I have. A team that has never relied on power because of where they played is all of a sudden relying on power to get them through a lot of games.
Yeah.
To score runs.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think their team as a whole, just the way we talk about hitting, them pitching, and ballpark. I think a good comp for them is the Mariners. I think that's a very good.
Yes, but they're better at it.
Yeah,
but they're better at it.
Yes. Talking about the Giants are better at it.
Yeah.
No. I agree 100%. But I think the outcome of the season is going to sort of be the same for both.
I will say that the Giants, they do kind of know what they're doing, in my opinion, with the power. None of their power hitters, besides, I guess, Ramos, and he's not a crazy power hitter, are left-handed. The ball can go out to left field. It can fly out there. The right field is the tough part.
Yeah, true.
I think that's what they're trying to do, which I mean, it could work, and it's probably some analytics driven thing that they've been doing, like right-handed power hitters, lefty contact guys, because I mean they got Jung Ho Lee out there and lefty, and then Ramos, who's a more of a contact guy, get on base kind of guy, and then they got their power bats of Matt Chapman, Willie Adames, stuff like that, right-handed, where the ball can fly out the left field there. So we'll see. I do think they are the fourth best team in that division, but that's not to say they're not a top 8, 7
it doesn't make
team
them bad
in the NL.
Yeah, it doesn't make them bad just because they're the fourth, and I mean that's the best division, I think. All right, so we've got 1 or 2 more segments. Time dependent. Oh, you were worried about me. Oh my God, we are cooking. This is clinical right now. All right, so we'll do the IL stint one. I've got 5 players who are currently on the IL. We would like to talk about how important this injury is, or how much of a deterrent this injury is for the team, whether the team is going to be okay during their absence. Yeah, just do that. I got 5 names. The first one I think is the most important one. The one that hurts the team the most, or any of the teams mentioned the most, is Ketel Marte. Obviously he's their star guy. I think he's him and Carroll are probably the engines that make the offense run. He's got a hamstring injury. Hamstrings are tricky, especially in a 162 game season. So even if he's back, it's not, those can kind of linger for a while. What are your thoughts on the Ketel Marte injury and the impact it has on the Diamondbacks?
Definitely the biggest out of all the ones. I mean, he's the best second baseman in baseball. When he goes down, you're gonna feel it. I think they can manage, because I mean the Diamondbacks are a good team. Their offense is still really good. Yes, he was the driving factor and the best offensive player on that team. I just think Corbin Carroll has to step up. Will he? I hope so. I don't know. But we'll just have to see. But yeah, it's definitely a big effect because of how bad their pitching has been as well. You lose a star guy on offense when your pitching has already been bad. It can be a recipe for disaster. And like you said, hamstrings are weird. It
They're
could
tricky.
be, he could be, healthy in 2 weeks and back and playing and being fine.
Yep.
Or it could be July and he's still feeling it. So you
Exactly.
just don't know. Which I think the Diamondbacks will be kind of smart with him and, not rush him back. Because I think their team is still good enough to keep him in the mix while he's out. Especially, with it being early season where you never know that he could come back and the Diamondbacks go on a run and still get in if they're out of it. So, and I think their pitching will figure itself out eventually. So I think they'll be fine, but it is a big hit.
Yeah, I mean, from the beginning, I was not really as high on their lineup as you guys were, which they're good. I just wasn't
This
as
is
high
my
as you were.
team. I picked these guys.
Yeah, I know. I just think at the end of the day, I agree with everything Will said. I just think the way their lineup is, and you might disagree with me, but if he is out, say July or past All Star break, whatever, is they cannot lose anybody else. Like they don't have that cushion to lose another guy in that lineup, and that's just my personal opinion on it. Say if one of their other top 5 or 6 guys go down, I think that really hurts them more than anything.
So for me right now, the replacement is Tim Tawa, who got called up after Marte got hurt. He is hitting 142 and looks like a minor leaguer. So that's like, to me, that's like so huge on your lineup when you you always say like next man up when a guy goes down. And so like that next man up has to be like an actual major league player that is like ready to get the job done. They were not prepared to lose Marte because they didn't have a good replacement for him. This is magnified in the fact that all of their starters, not a single one has an ERA under 5 right now, which is just like asinine to me. Especially when you've got Gallen, you've got Corbin Burns, like just those two alone.
I thought
You got both of those guys, and both the ERAs are over 5. You're not even Brandon Pfaadt's over 5. He sucks too. Like all of them can't pitch, so like they have to hit. They have no choice but to hit until these guys get going. Now I think like chances are they probably get going. I'm actually low on Gallen. I think Gallen is like I think there's a velo drop there, and I don't think he's adjusted to it. He had this one start against the Yankees where he had like 13 strikeouts, and I was like, oh, maybe. And then he kind of went back to what I saw in the first start he had. So he's very uneven. I think Burns will probably be fine just because of how he pitches. Like I think like the way that he throws it's going to be very hard for him to be in a sustained slump because of how accurately he pitches. And the cutter works, the thing plays. His velo was also down, Will and Nate, just in case you didn't know, sitting 92, 93 his last start. Could be an early season thing, I don't know. But the way he pitches tells me I'm less worried about him than Gallen. I'm actually worried about Gallen, but one of those guys has got to figure it out. 3 of the 5 pitchers that go for them have to figure it out because no team has enough hitting to combat 5 ERAs from all of your starters. No team has that. No. And so like Marte is a big problem, but the biggest problem is they need to get their pitching together and they've got to figure it out fast because the division is too good for them to be behind by 10, 11 games going into, June.
As we say, that Corbin Carroll hit a bomb.
Nice job. Well, I wasn't worried about him.
Yeah, he just hit a bomb.
Yeah.
They got to hit.
I mean,
they're going to have to hit.
They've had some other people step up, like which I was looking at this guy's stats. Eugenio Suarez. He has
great.
5 home runs.
His swing looks great, by the way. I've been watching him. His swing looks fantastic this year. I love how he's hitting.
The one thing that
Alex Thomas looks good too.
He looks good too. The one thing that is crazy with Suarez is he is hitting 158 and has an almost 900 OPS.
Yep,
that's crazy.
He's got one thing he's trying to do.
He will either hit a nuke, strike out, or walk. There's no way
He's
fans
Adam
buts
Dunn.
about it.
He's right-handed Adam Dunn. Move on to the next guy, Blake Snell, added to the IL on Sunday, I believe, with a shoulder issue. Long term, they said doesn't appear to be anything more than inflammation, but we will see. What impact, if any, do you guys see it having on the Dodgers?
They can be okay. They'll be okay.
They're gonna be good.
Figured you would say that.
Yeah.
They have like 8 starters that could pitch in the major leagues, so they'll be okay. I mean, it's definitely a big loss because I would say he's maybe not their best starter, but up there. He's probably a top 2, top 3 starter on that team. So, going from a guy who can be an ace to now a guy who's probably a 3 or a 4 in the rotation can come back to bite you eventually. But if anyone can combat losing an ace, it's the Dodgers. So I think they'll be fine.
Nate?
Oh no, they're good. I don't have anything on it. They're good.
I agree. I just think there's enough depth there, and they just know how to win at the end of the day. Snell is like one of the ones that I'm lowest on. I think he has like these years every once in a while where he's just dominant, but then he has a lot of other years where he's a very mid pitcher. The stuff is there, but he's not always there.
He sucks every year after he wins the Cy Young, so
Yeah.
he's going to suck this year.
I've watched his first couple starts. You could tell like he wasn't comfortable throwing the ball. I did not know it was his finger, but you could tell just like how wild he was. Like the stuff had a decent amount of bite, but just not commanding it. And he's normally not that bad at commanding, so you could tell something was wrong.
He's also getting frustrated.
Oh yeah, for sure, it was mental. Move on to another Dodger, Freddie Freeman, slipped in the shower and aggravated his ankle injury from last year. Not a misquote. That's literally what happened. So the injury's starting to pile on a little bit for the Dodgers. I think they're fine for now, but the impact Freddie Freeman's absence will have on the Dodgers. What do you guys think?
That happens to the best of us.
I slipped in the shower. It hurt.
I think it's a big hit, but the one thing is he hasn't played all year anyway, and they're still 9-3. So it's definitely a big hit, and these things like say one more guy in the lineup goes down, then yeah, you're in trouble. Like
That's what I was gonna say. To me, it's a depth thing. It's the depth starts to come into question.
Yeah, but right now I think they're fine. They're fine without him. But say Tommy Edman or Max Muncy goes down, then okay, there's a problem.
Yeah.
And especially with how bad Mr. Andy Pages has been.
Dude. Oh my God.
Which I mean, shit, they just went and got Estuary Ruiz, so they'll probably be fine out there. Which I mean, he's not really a great fielder like Pages is or is supposed to be. He hasn't been good out there either.
Oh my God.
I
Looks
mean,
lost.
Ruiz, they're probably gonna turn him into a 250 to 280 hitter, and he's gonna steal 50 bags. So I think they'll be fine.
That's already gonna happen. The 50 bags is already happening. But yeah, he'll probably hit like 270 for sure. Well, shoot, he was hitting like 300 for the A's when they demoted him last year. Remember that?
Yeah,
he was like hitting, and they just like sent him down. Like,
I
well,
will
hold
say
on,
it was
fella, you're doing too good.
I think it was only like 10 games in, so it was like a small sample size, which is not going to happen because the year before I want to say he hit like 230.
Yeah,
but
I just thought it was funny how he was like actually hitting when they demoted him instead of like when he wasn't hitting the year before. I don't know.
I mean, it's what happens when you go against the owner of the team because he sucks.
So
yeah.
You just mentioned the A's. I just want to throw out the stat that they are currently involved in right now. They have now batted around against Dylan Cease in the first inning. 6 hits, 6 runs, and he just now threw his 22nd pitch.
Ooh, efficient. Early and often. Oh my God.
Any home runs in that are just
no home runs. No, and they're
6 hits.
So 6 hits,
singles and doubles.
Soderstrom walked, and then just
so there's even a walk
and there's 2 outs. Yeah.
And there was a walk.
Yeah.
So that was at least 4 of those pitches.
Golly.
Oh my God. 18 pitches of damage. 3 per at bat.
Yeah. Not even. I mean, there's another 8 batters in that.
Brutal,
and so
dude.
that's less.
God.
He's already back up to a 2-2 count with a number 1 hitter again. and he's only at 24 pitches.
I am
Dude,
very.
oh my god,
So he was at 20 pitches through the lineup.
Correct.
that's crazy.
That
He is in the middle of the zone. Like he is piping everything.
Dude.
I wonder what the outs are. I got to go through after this and look at what the outs
That
are.
is
See if they're
cra-
like
I know, I wanna
115 off
know.
the bat at someone.
I'll have
That
to.
is crazy.
I wasn't paying attention to the outs. I just looked up and it was hit, like 7.
That is insane.
Like, dude, I'm telling you, they got like 6 hits on 8 pitches.
Holy cow! All right.
I mean, what's
right,
worse,
go
that
ahead.
or what's worse? So 6 hits through the lineup in about 20 pitches, or 3 home runs in 3 pitches from Nestor.
There's nothing. That was so demoralizing.
Yeah.
They scored like 18 runs that game, dude. Like they just didn't stop. It wasn't even just Nestor. Like they just did not stop.
So
He got lit up.
before we carry on the final stat, 6 runs on 25 pitches in the first inning.
That's freaking
So he's gonna
crazy.
He's probably gonna go 6 or 7. Give up 14.
Yeah, if he makes it that long with how many runs he's given up.
Okay.
I mean, no one sees he's probably going to settle in, and literally he's
Yeah.
only going to give up 6, but he's going to go seven innings, 6 earned.
Yeah.
And everyone's going to look at the stat line and be like, give up 6. Why didn't they take him out earlier?
happened.
He was all in the first inning.
He settled in after that. He settled in after they hit a round on him. All right, we got 2 more of these. Let's go to Jack Leiter. He has a blister issue, not serious for now. Eligible to come back April 18th, so this isn't like a long-term thing. I'm worried. Blisters are another one that's like
Lingering.
they tend to nag. They tend to nag. So for me, it's more of, are we worried about this being a long-term issue where he's going to be like on and off the IL? And then if that is the case, do they have the rotation that, because they're playing some ball right now. I mean, they're hitting, and I mean, they're not hitting that great. Like they're hitting like kind of trash. But the ERA, the team ERA is like crazy. DeGrom's back and healthy. Eovaldi's looked good multiple times. The bullpen actually looks good, which is like insane to me.
That's what we were worried about.
But do they need him? Like, is this like, do they have to have him healthy for them to continue like this?
Yes, because of the depth. Eventually, I mean,
Hey, Patrick Corbin
Yes.
shoved today.
there's no way.
No, we didn't. No, we didn't.
They're going to need him. I think the Rangers are a team that could make a move for a pitcher at the deadline. So we'll see. I am just like, the one thing that worries me is I'm like scarred with blisters, because I remember freaking, what was his name? Aaron Sanchez for the Blue Jays, like
Yeah.
10 years ago, when he got 1 blister and then was out for the year basically because it
This is
just
what I'm
would
saying.
not go away.
It's like, this is the thing that I'm like, if it's like, you know, one thing or another, like, but like blisters for whatever reason, I mean, I know the reason, but it's like they just tend to linger past it's like they say like you just got to wait for the skin to like grow over or whatever and it becomes a callus, but like that takes time, and most of the time pitchers don't wait that long for that to happen, so it ends up being this recurring thing that they deal with for months.
Bring the sticky stuff back, man. It'll get away with them.
So, same thing with the Rangers, as I said earlier, is Eovaldi's pitching well. DeGrom has a 4 ERA right at, so whatever. Then you got Rocker to 8 ERA. So, I mean, it's...
His first start was garbage. His
Yes,
second one
yeah,
was
yeah,
much better. I would say the jury is out. I don't know yet.
I mean...
The second start looked way better. He is striking no one out though, by the way. Like he doesn't miss bats
That's
for
a
whatever
problem,
reason.
They,
Yeah, that's a bad one.
I think the biggest problem with their situation is a lot of teams have dudes you can pull out of the bullpen to put in that starting position if need be. They do not.
No. They
There's
don't really have a
depth, yeah.
long guy.
I mean,
yeah,
they
they
got-
don't really have a long
They
guy
got
or
Patrick Corbin for spot starts, which he only gave up 3
Yeah,
today. But, you know...
that's when you know you got a problem.
Yeah.
That's when you know you got a
You know,
problem.
so,
Corbin's
like-
making your spot starts.
But I guess worst case scenario, if he can at least just take one... If you just win 2 out of 3, he can take the automatic L every time.
He can literally just be there to eat innings.
Exactly.
That's all they need
Eat
out of
it.
him.
He literally like if
Exactly.
it's out of hand. Like just you're in it, buddy. We
Go
need you
ahead
here.
and give up 18.
Yep,
We're
yep.
chalking this one up. It's
We're chalking
okay.
There's
You're
162
literally
of
just
these bad boys.
yeah.
We're okay losing this one.
The only guys they've had to start games was, obviously Evaldi, Ladder, Rocker. Then they've got Molly and Corbin. Those are the only guys that started.
Molly's been good
this year. Yeah,
Molly's looked pretty good.
Um,
He's actually been solid.
Webb is not
all right.
going to. So
No. Last one, real quick. Max Scherzer. I told y'all at the beginning, before this season even started, he is not going to throw more than 20. He's not going to start more than 20 games. I said that like at the beginning. Do you guys remember that? I said he's not even going to.
I agreed with you. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just dumb. But no one knows like what exactly like it is. Like it's like a weird type of injury. I remember he came out at like his second start or whatever start it was, and he was like he couldn't feel it. Like he couldn't feel his thumb. So he's like, I can't throw because I can't feel my thumb. I'm like, okay, well that can't be good. I don't know what it is. He's older, so I don't know how it's gonna heal. I don't know what's wrong. I was worried about the rotation regardless. He needed to be like a stabilizing force for them to have like a average rotation for the AL East. They're doing okay so far, but they're gonna really have to start hitting if they want to win. I think him not being there is, if he's healthy, he helps them tremendously. But the problem is they're gonna have to get used to him not being healthy and not being on the field as much as they need. And so, what do they do if that's the case?
The one thing with their hitting though is that it's not like the non guys are not hitting, at least. Like Seager hasn't been hitting, but Wyatt Langford's on a tear right now. He has been going crazy.
You're talking about the Rangers. We're talking about the Rangers right now. Scherzer's on the Blue Jays.
Oh, that's crazy. I thought he was on the Rangers still.
What?
No, he's on the Blue Jays.
For some odd reason. We're good.
I agree
Same
with you.
Same kind of scenario though. Their main guys are hitting. George Springer's going crazy. Vladdy looks okay. They do not score a ton of runs. They do not score a lot. Outside of, Springer's really their guy. I would assume they probably end up hitting okay. But once you get past like 5, like there's 6 through, some of those guys I don't even know who they are. So if he doesn't help them in their rotation, I don't know if they hit enough to, not in the AL East, maybe another division, maybe in the NL Central, but not in the AL East.
Yeah.
I really don't think Scherzer being out, just based off what we thought he would, like projecting what he would do this year, I don't think it matters. They need to get somebody else anyways.
Yeah, I think they were in trouble anyways.
Yeah, even if he's a full season,
kind of like,
I think he's still at like a 6 ERA at the end of the year.
If anything, it like proved it, honestly, like that he wasn't going to be enough. So yeah, they do need to make another move.
Should have listened to us.
Yeah, I know. Not enough following yet. We'll get there. All right, last segment, real or fake is what I'm naming this one. I'm sure someone has named it that before, but same kind of deal. 3 guys, 3 with hot starts, 3 with cold starts. I'm going to throw a curveball on one of the hot starts. I'm changing one of the players just so you guys know. But I'm assuming you guys will be okay nonetheless. The first one, hot start. We are going to talk about Javi Baez, who somehow is hitting 318 and almost looks like he's got like 2 or 3 multi-hit games, a couple 3-hit games in there. Looks like his old self a little bit. Is this real or is this fake? Too early to tell. How do you guys feel?
I want it to be real. It's not. Because he's hitting 318, but it's because of those 3 like multi-hit games and 3-hit games. In the other games, he's going 0 for 4. He doesn't have games where he goes 1 for 4. He's either going 3 for 4 or he's going 0 for 4, which I do think. I'm not going to say he's going to be good. I think he'll be better than what he has been. I just don't think he's getting back to. Yeah. I just don't think he's getting back to what Javi Baez was, but I think he's going to be a average player this year.
That would be a step in the right direction for what he has been. Nate, what do you think?
No, it's not going to last. No shot. Dude, the thing is his swing. Actually, I don't even know what his swing is, to be honest with you. It's just like he just closes his eyes and prays, and eventually that prayer is going to run out. Like it's easy to hit a ball over the plate for him at his level.
I'm confused. Like, why aren't pitchers just doing what they normally do and just throw balls
just
and make
bouncing
them
it
swing
and-
at them? I don't get that. Like, they're just throwing too many strikes. This is an easy adjustment for all of the Major League Baseball to make. Just throw balls and he'll get out.
I hope he's back to OG Javi. Like I hope he is. That'd be great for the game. But I've just seen too much in the last few years to prove that he will not be.
I mean, OG Javi still didn't have play discipline, so we'll just have to see with that one.
To be fair, like you kind of said it, like it's either 0 for 4 or 3 for 4. That is what he did back in like the Cubs days. It was either 0 for 4 with 3 Ks or he went like 5 for 5. Like there was no like in between. He had so many multi-hit games. Very rarely was he just like 1 for 3 with a walk. Like he didn't do that a ton. So I mean, if they're throwing strikes, he can do it. Like his bat to ball is good if it's in the zone.
Yeah.
The problem is he swings at everything else that's out of the zone.
If you're asking if he's going to finish over 300, that's a big fat no.
He will not. Does he finish over 220?
Yeah. God, dude, we're only like 9 games in.
That's a good line. That's a good line.
Really
if you
good.
Said,
over
you said
under 220.
If you said 200, I'm taking the over. But
under.
I'd say I think he's legitimately going to finish around 215 to 225.
Yeah, under.
It's going to be literally right there.
I'm going to take the under.
222 final season line. 222 with a 253 on base percentage.
How many bombs?
16.
So better than Arcia. Let's get him on the Braves.
16 home runs. That would for sure.
Arcia's at bats at least look a little bit more competitive.
Do they?
Hey, he was swinging it well tonight. That's all I care about.
Javi Baez also, as much as we hate him, and he will throw the ball errantly, he gets to a lot of ground balls. He's still a good defender.
So is Boba
Yes. Okay, second guy. I said I was going to throw you guys a curveball. I was going to do Wilmer Flores, but we talked about him a little bit.
Dang it.
I
had a stat for him.
Do you have a stat for him?
Yeah.
Oh, well, let's do it then. That's fine. Let's do it. Wilmer Flores.
Let me pull it back up real quick.
Not a like crazy high average. I just think like the power that he has displayed like for the first like 9 or 10 games has been like crazy. And he's like second in baseball in RBIs. Hold on, I don't want to be wrong. Fourth, sorry. He's fourth in baseball in RBIs because Judge has 18 and Kyle Tucker has 16. But he's got 12 RBIs, 4 home runs, hitting 289, only 6 strikeouts. So he's hitting the ball consistently too. Like this is
just
pretty impressive start for, I mean, a career. He's a first baseman now.
Yeah,
like full-time first baseman. Real or fake?
Fake as hell. Listen, and I'll tell you why. So, out of his 36 at bats, he has 9 hits. Okay, whatever. 4 of his 9 hits are home runs.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like Eugenio Suarez status.
That was a stat I kind of had, but you said the 4 home runs is like that's not going to last. You know, like
yeah.
four of his, he's gotten 5 hits out of his 34 or 36 at bats that have just been normal hits, right? Like what is that? He's hitting almost 50% home runs right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to say it's sustainable. Will, what do you think?
Is he going to do 289 and 30 bombs? No. 260 and 20? 100%.
I mean, he's on pace.
260 and 20 is a great year
and he's going to do
Giant at that. That's a great year.
I mean, God, this pace is insane.
I think he'll do it. Yeah, he's not going to keep up the pace.
He's going to have to slow down a little bit. But like, and that was kind of like where I was going is like, is it a 20 home run year? You know, like he's already got 4, or you know, like it's not, you know, outlandish. Like 20 home runs, like does he have this kind of year? I don't know.
I mean, I think he's gonna try. I think what he's gonna do is like be a little bit better bat to ball, Adam Duvall. And we saw Adam Duvall hit 38 home runs and almost lead the league in RBIs, which I think that's what Wilmer Flores is going to be up there to do. He's going to try and create runs.
So
whether Whether it's him hitting a home run when no one's on base or when someone is on third base, he's going to hit a ground ball to second base and get a run.
Imagine that stat. 40 hits, 20 home runs.
That'd be insane. All right, last one real quick for hot starts. Our guy, Spencer Schwellenbach, has thrown 14 innings and has not given up a run yet. Real or fake?
What do we want to give him, though? Like, if I say real, like, what do we want to give him?
1,000% real.
Like, in terms of earned
He's
runs,
obviously not going to have a 0
Yeah,
ERA.
like,
That's
that's what I'm
not going to
saying.
happen. But
his stuff's disgusting.
Yeah, he's going to finish under a 3.4 ERA, which is elite, and he's going to be in the mix for Cy Young because I think this stuff plays 100%.
he is going to be an all-star. He will be an all-star. And he will have a little rut from like July, August, because that's when he's going to get to the like limit of the innings thrown in a season that he's ever had. He's kind of a young arm. He doesn't have like a ton of like bullets that he's used. But those young guys, like once they get to that 115, 120 inning mark, especially if you're on a competing team, which I hope by the time we get to that point we will be, you start to see a little bit of, regression because I just haven't done it yet. It's just a lot of innings. I think overall he'll be fine. That's the one part that I worry about for our rotation in general is just like longevity. Like, do we make it through the entire season? With him, in terms of stuff, I have absolutely no doubts whatsoever. The stuff is real. That dude's legitimate. But this year being like that first like full season where we're going to need him for the long haul, I think there's going to be a little bit of regression for like the last couple months of the season just because he hasn't done it before. So I say yes, All-Star, no Cy Young.
Fair.
Any other thoughts on that one?
Nope.
Cold starts real quick. Wilson Contreras hitting like 108 to start the season on a Cardinals team where everyone is hitting the ball. He actually went 0 for again in a team where everyone else hit the ball. Are we concerned here?
Yes. He was not that great last year. He's been on a decline basically ever since he left the Cubs, and honestly was kind of on the decline on the Cubs. So I'm genuinely like he's cooked.
Yeah, I'd say I'm out on Wilson Contreras. I think I'm done.
Yeah.
Didn't they move him to first just for this? Like,
Yeah.
save his legs, move him to first so they can keep his bat. And like, his bat has been worse since he's moved to first base.
It's not even like he's just making bad contact. He's almost at a 50% strikeout percentage right now.
I mean, that's awful.
43 at bats, 21 strikeouts.
Oh my god!
So he's not even making contact. That's to start.
That's brutal. Okay, so yeah, high level of concern. I don't know if the Cardinals necessarily like need him or if he like moves the needle one way or the other, but like you can't have 108 in the lineup long term if they're competing, like they're competing right now, right? And so like right now it's, you're kind of like feeling the season out, but if they're competing 60, 70 games in and he's doing that or some semblance of that, he will not stay in the lineup. Absolutely no shot. Because they need to keep winning. Another hitter, Luis Robert, hitting 161. Not quite a 50% strikeout rate, but a 31% strikeout rate, which is also abysmal. What's our concern level here?
What do we expect, though? Like in term, I think
he's expected to be an all-star.
No, I understand.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this is the guy that when they do the commercials on MLB TV, and they talk about the White Sox, for whatever reason, I don't even know why they do segments on the White Sox. This is the guy they talk about because he's supposed to be, he has like the best nickname in baseball also, by the way, like La Pantera, which is Panther in Spanish, in case you guys were wondering. That is just like a great nickname. But he is the guy, he's supposed to be the guy. And I have never, when have we seen him do anything beyond average?
I think a lot of it might be surrounding, or like his support staff around him. Like
hard to show up to work every day.
Yeah,
when you know you're gonna lose.
I don't know. Like, is he begging to be traded? Which I don't understand why they wouldn't. Anyways, get at least something, like some good prospects.
They absolutely should.
But
they should trade him 100%. I think they will.
And it's been like he wasn't bad last year at all, but you've seen it slowly work down, and I think a lot of it is the organizational itself.
I do think that it is surrounding, but I also have come to terms that this guy is not going to be the MVP caliber player that he was projected to be when he came up. He's going to be 250, 25 to 30 bombs every year, play really good defense in center field, which is very good. Very good. He's just not going to be this guy that everyone expected. Like, I remember when he was coming up, everyone was like, this guy's the next, like, Andrew Jones, stuff like that. Like, elite pop, going to hit for a somewhat decent average and play really good defense.
Yep.
Like, I just don't think he's that. I do think it's surrounding, though. Like, say he gets traded to a contending team, I think he'll be fine. I don't know if he'll be, get his stats up to, decent numbers, because it's going to probably be pretty bad the entire time he's on the White Sox, because I also think he's pressing. Yeah. He wants to put up numbers, so he's swinging at everything, but they're working around him.
Correct.
Because they can.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, sure.
Yeah.
Man, what's crazy is I just saw I'm older than that guy. Dear Jesus.
I'm older than like every name we've talked about.
I didn't realize he was only 27. Oh my God.
I'm not.
I'm not older than this guy, though, that we're going to talk about next. Charlie Morton, 40 years old, has a 9.72 ERA to start the year. The Orioles are 5-6, so not out of the race by any means. But how concerned are you with the start that Charlie Morton has had?
The Braves should have been his last stop. Went out on a high note, being decent for us. I think it should have ended there.
Yeah, went out on
he wasn't really
average
decent.
note.
Yeah, he wasn't really.
He went out on like a mediocre
he
note.
Did a lot of good,
not a bad
but I'm
one.
saying he did a lot of good things for us over the past however long he's been with us. Like,
I mean, he was our ace in 21.
That's
so
what
yeah,
I'm
he
saying,
did something great for us. But I think Father Time has finally caught up. Which, I mean, it was definitely reeling him in last year for sure. But I think he's fully caught up, and is now beating him to a pulp.
I think the only thing that could save him is if at 41 years old he could learn how to throw his curveball for a strike.
Beating him to a pulp. Father Time is just whooping this man.
Which, I mean, it's still a great career.
Yeah, I think it's done. We'll see if he his velo's not the same anymore either. Just like low nines, just kind of sitting like 92, 93. Yeah. And this dude is like, he has never learned to control his breaking ball, which is just like mind boggling. Like, you've thrown that same pitch for 30 years and you haven't figured it out yet. Like, I can't. So he's still got that like lack of command on his secondary, and now his fastball velo's down. Like, I just think this is probably it. I would assume this is probably his last year.
Like I just said, I think the only hope for him is if he somehow after 30 years learns to throw it for a strike, which he's not, because he still hits people with it.
He does. It's bad.
Yeah, dude should have retired, man, and just went out like the guy he was, And
I mean, in his defense, they offered him like $15 million to throw one more year.
Too.
No.
Yeah, I was literally going to say the same thing.
I'll throw one more. Yeah, like, if I'm getting a bag for it, I'll throw one more. If I suck, then then they probably don't offer me another one after this year, and then I'll be done.
What's crazier to me is his health is somewhat okay.
He stays relatively healthy. He's just not very good anymore.
No, he's gonna stay cold. I guess that just answers the question.
Which, I mean,
that's what I think.
I will say, if he keeps his ERA under 5 this year, which would be a feat, he might get
in that division
somewhere.
In that division, absolutely. He will not do that, but
he won't. But
I know what you're saying. And I agree if that does happen. All right, fellas, that is all I had today for us. We slowed down a little bit. The pace was great, and then we went off on some tangents, but that's okay. Before we go, Will, tell the people what they need to do if they haven't done it yet.
Yep. Thanks for everyone listening right now on Twitch, and listen on Spotify. We usually post in the mornings after we stream them on Twitch, and post it to YouTube on the same morning as well. So go follow us on Spotify, subscribe to us on YouTube. I got Twitter plays coming out every single day at HDL Sports. Cam's been posting a lot for tennis on the Instagram, and I've also been just like trying to get engaged on like a lot of posts about March Madness. Like yesterday, I was so locked in on Florida. Shout out
bet you
Florida.
were. I bet you were.
I was locked in. I definitely when the
Congratulations,
guy.
by the way.
Thank you, sir. When we won, so as everyone in this podcast knows, I live in an apartment complex. I definitely woke up my neighbors when we won.
Worth it.
But
They'll
yeah,
understand.
Shout out Walter Clayton, everyone there. If you like Walter Clayton, drop a like. We all do. But yeah, just follow us on all social media platforms. We're trying to put out content just about every day, whether that be just a small little tweet or some video or something like that. So yeah, appreciate you guys.
That is going to do it, y'all. Same time, same place next week. Thank you as always for joining, and we will see y'all next time.
Peace.